Okay, go.
Welcome to the DGD Podcast. It is clean, old-fashioned hate week, and it's also Thanksgiving Eve. I'm Robert Reynolds. Welcome in, and let's go ahead and get started. Got a lot to cover. We're going to preview Georgia Tech for what it's worth, right? For what it's worth. But there's some picks we've got to do at the end, and it's going to be very entertaining. I'll let it be known there. Let's see here. Solo Rob. Yeah, for right now, absolutely. Project Pat in the building. Anyways, before we jump to that, and before we preview Georgia Tech, it is crazy to know that our Georgia Bulldogs, 3 consecutive seasons, 8-0 in SEC play. No one else has done that. Not a single soul in the SEC has done that. Absolutely not. And we bring in Keon. Keon, what is going on, my man?
What's going on, my guy?
Not much. I was sitting there just thinking about it, and Georgia just just did some things in SEC play. Um, 3 consecutive seasons, 8-0.
100%.
Pretty impressive stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I think we're setting the marker of yet again, and breaking the marker of what elite looks like. Um, just like Kirby said, you're either elite or you're not. In Georgia, at this very moment, we are elite. Um, as you can tell, we're down to Georgia Tech. You just like I have heard a lot of the naysayers, whether it be in group chats, whether it be on social media. Oh, Georgia's not going to do it. They're not going to be undefeated again. As we're on our way to what appears to be yet a three-peat, um, with SEC championship play in the near distance. Um, couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. Go dogs.
Oh no, 100% go dogs. Now I will say this, right? We Monday we did our predictions for what it would look like. Actually, slightly off. Playoff rankings come out Tuesday. Tuesday night. Georgia stays at number 1. Then you've got
As expected.
Yep, no doubt. As then you go to Michigan, or excuse me, Ohio State, Michigan, and Washington jumps into the 4th spot. Were you surprised to see Washington go in or not? Up at 4.
I wasn't actually. I think it sets a very interesting precedent. As we know, unfortunately, Jordan Travis, the quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles, he took a gruesome injury last Saturday. And of course, the committee looked at that, and, they weighed in by, saying, you know what, maybe we should drop y'all down. Maybe that could be the case. But I do want to say to the Seminoles, to Seminole fans that are listening, as long as you take care of business against Florida, which, stay around for our picks, might get interesting, you should be in there. And honestly, nobody can take that away from you, because at that point, you'd be able to say that you went the entire duration of the season, and just like Georgia, you stayed pristine and clean and undefeated.
I think that'll be interesting to see too, because Georgia was without their best player for a couple games. Now, obviously, quarterback and tight ends are a different story. However, it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. But let's save that for later, right? Let's talk about Georgia, man. I think the playoff getting Georgia number 1, and a lot of the same at the up front outside of 4 and 5. Tells me that come SEC championship game, I don't see Bama getting in. I just don't. Even if they win, you'll have to have some help.
Uh,
Which tells me, I think what could happen. I think Georgia. Now, this might be a little bit of a hot take. I don't know how you feel about this, but Georgia could somehow lose close and still make the playoffs, not as a champion.
Most definitely. I mean, you've heard me say off air that I think Georgia, all we have to do is really stay undefeated as far as the regular season goes, and we're in no matter what. I mean, at this current point, of course, you're going to have teams that are going to get snubbed, but that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But I don't see a way for us at this point to be left out, and that's win or lose. Now,
Well,
mind you, I have us winning the SEC championship, so don't worry there, dog fans. Also, shout outs to DGD Pat, love you. But
Project Pat be hyping up everybody.
I'm telling you, and we appreciate the good energy, the good vibes over here. That's what matters.
This Thanksgiving Eve, man, people were prepping for some turkey and ham and stuff. Which, by the way, drop in the comments. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side? I'm telling you right now, mine's the mac and cheese, without a doubt.
So I'm gonna say, so for me, it's a 3-way tie.
It can't be 3 ways. How you,
Yeah.
I got to hear them, but I'll hear
All
them
right,
out.
so
I'll hear them out.
if my Thanksgiving plate does not consist of chicken and dressing, sweet potatoes, and mac and cheese, I'm not eating it.
See, that's my thoughts. But if I had to choose my go-to, it's mac and cheese. But you got to have it homemade, and it's got to have buttermilk in it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
If it ain't got buttermilk, I can't fuck with it. I'm
At
sorry.
all.
It's
At
not.
all.
Just can't do it. Can't
See?
do it.
See? He did it. He did. Oh, wait. Jeff's not here. Oh, okay. Jeff's not here yet. Jeff's
Not
not
yet.
here.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Well,
See, look at that. No, I'll tell you right now though. Give me some mac and cheese with some ham. Take and shred that stuff up and mix it together. Oh, dude, it's delicious. But anyways, let's we dig down that rabbit hole for another time. So ultimately, I think Georgia has a really good shot at 3-peat, and we might talk a little bit about this later, Keon, towards our picks, maybe even after it, depending on how things go. Might throw in something extra, right, for the folks that are sticking around, prepping for Thanksgiving with us. But when it comes to Georgia, right, you just got done with your hardest slate of games. So we think now you're looking at Georgia Tech, which we think more than likely Georgia handles this one. I think it's telling that Georgia is the number one team. And you look at we've heard this all season that Georgia's strength of schedule was dog shit. And Georgia just took 3 ranked teams to the fucking wood chipper and just spit them out, chewed up, chopped and screwed.
You know what's funny? I was actually doing a little bit of crunching numbers earlier today. And if you average out all of our games, like the gaps in between us and the opponent from Kentucky to Tennessee, we averaged 21 points throughout that time frame. So
Yeah.
we're beating each and every last one of these teams from Kentucky to Tennessee on average by 21 points.
You're looking at ranked teams too. I mean, Kentucky might not be ranked right now, but at the same time, when they were, right? I think you have to take that into context for what it's worth. But you still got Tennessee ranked, Ole Miss is ranked, Missouri ranked, and you beat the absolute fuck out of them. The only one that you truly didn't was Missouri. You still handled them. So, for what it's worth, I think Georgia's made the argument to be number one, and I don't think it's close at this point. I mean, you still got the game, right? You got the game coming up Saturday too. But I don't know. We'll talk more about that to come to picks. Tyree, welcome in, sir. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you as well.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you, my guy. More life, more blessings.
Now let's talk clean old-fashioned hate. But before we do, guys, we're going to take a quick break for talk about our first sponsor of the night, and that is Apotheos, guys. Y'all know them. I hope you got them. Keon, I know we both drink coffee. I drink
100%.
I drink Apotheos every morning. I mean, a nice Tervis cup full of coffee gets me going every single morning. I'm telling you right now, best coffee I've ever had. Testimonial. It's not because we're sponsored by them. It's delicious. Don't know what to tell you. It is amazing stuff.
Top tier.
I mean, it quite literally is the coffee of champions. I say it every time.
National champions. National champions.
Listen, go to DGDpodcast.com and go to our sponsors, click Apotheos. Shop their store using our website. 20% of every single bag or K-Cup that you purchase will go to the Classic City Collective. They're the official coffee and cold brew partner of the collective. So they're doing their thing by supporting the dogs. So why don't you just go to our website, dgdpodcast.com, and get you some coffee, guys. I'm telling you, if you're hesitant, I'm going to let you know this right now. My personal favorite, is the Classic City Collective Dark Roast. Don't let the dark roast scare you. I guarantee it. I'm just going to leave it there. We're back.
What up?
What is going on, man? How are you? Sir, how are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. I see you're at home.
Yep.
Doing pretty good.
My man has got the cave rocking right there. All right, so let's do this, Keon. We posed a question, Kobe. Go to Thanksgiving side. What is it?
Do you consider sweet potato souffle a side or a dessert?
It's basically I know what you're talking about. You got the marshmallows on top.
Yeah.
Either way.
Or it's like pecan crusted on top.
Either way. I mean, it's up to you. It's your go-to.
I'd say that's probably my go-to, just because it's one of those things that, like, doesn't get cooked in my house unless it's Thanksgiving. Like
I
we
see
have
what
like dressing and stuff like at like major holidays. Like we have at Easter and Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I feel like we eat it more versus like I feel like sweet potato souffle. Unless it's Thanksgiving, you're not seeing it anywhere in our house.
Yeah.
So,
No, I know Keon had a 3-way tie. I had mac and cheese with buttermilk. It's got to have buttermilk in it because if it's not homemade with buttermilk, it don't count.
see, that's the hard thing too. Like mac and cheese is another thing. Like me and Katie probably have mac and cheese like every other week. You know, like way too much mac and cheese.
Not the homemade style. Like the homemade, like you got to bring your A game when it comes to Thanksgiving, though.
Breadcrumbs on the top. That's what I'm saying. Like breadcrumbs on top, the whole 9.
So enough of the food talk, guys. We can talk about this all night. That's another episode within itself. Project Pat dropping a first Pat fact of the night. This will be the 115th episode of Clean Old Fashioned Hate. And also, the Lord said on the third day, let there be swolders. Where's Juan? Oh, and by the way, Juan's in Cali with spending out Thanksgiving.
Did y'all see speaking of Juan, speaking of Jaden, did you see Stanford's alternate helmets that they're wearing this week?
Are they cool?
Mm.
Okay. I'll have to look.
They're a baseball inspired like script of Stanford written on the helmet. So like they're not
almost like Duke's helmet, but just this Stanford script.
Yeah, they're not terrible, but they just
would be a bad look.
Look like they should be. They look like they should be on a baseball jersey.
I'll tell you this. Speaking of something you have to see, if you didn't see the Tennessee victory video that Georgia football Twitter released, holy shit, dude! I'm still running through brick walls. Like
no, for real.
Oh my word! Like they've put out some good stuff, but I think that might have been arguable. Like
ever.
Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and shout out to the media team.
Whoever put that together, Andrew Smart had to have a say in that. Had to have. But listen, I'm just telling you right now, that quite literally is sitting on the top. Pun intended. You know what though? I think what made it more what made it more savage was the fact they showed the touchdown and then the ass whipping. Like that's what to me was funny. Just gonna leave that there. But maybe
I agree. The showing the touchdown was such a cool thing because like obviously they scored first, they scored quickly, and it was kind of like it's a punch in the mouth in the literal sense of the word, a punch in the mouth. And then you just responded so well.
And yes, Project Pat, that is the video with the slow version of Rocky Top. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a great touch.
Oh, dude, that was so fucking cool. I loved it. You know what though? I think we talk about that right there. Listen, that's probably the best video I've seen. But if Georgia, listen, after we whip Georgia Tech's ass, if I don't see this somewhere in the video, I'm gonna have a breakdown. No! Just gonna leave it there. I want to see that somewhere. Keon, you're echoing. Or not. You got it fixed. Either way. Dude, it's time to talk nerds. You ready?
I love nerd talk.
Listen, we run the state. Kobe, it has something personal for you because you've been a part of this personally, right? Playing in this game. We kind of know that. I'm not even mad. Why did you turn it off?
Even worse. Could have been Rocky Top.
Oh, if it would have been Rocky Top, I'd have muted his ass and kicked him off.
No, that wouldn't have been me.
Anyways, like we're talking about Georgia Tech, right? Like it doesn't have this feel as it's a big rivalry, but I think there is still some underlying, personal attachment, right? With Kirby, with some of the players, a lot of the Georgia guys, like Georgia boys, right? Not from Florida, not from this. I'm like in-state Georgia boys playing for Georgia. I think it matters to them. Can you attest to that, or
yeah? I would say it definitely matters to the old guys a lot, like the Kirbys, the Bobos, the Muschamps. You got to realize till Mark Richt. People give Mark Richt a hard time, but until Mark Richt, Georgia Tech kind of had our number there for like the later half of the 80s and the better part of the 90s. And they were a good team back then too. I mean, since Mark Richt took over, I forget, and Pat can tell me, I don't think he ever lost in Atlanta, ever, maybe something
There
like
was
that.
I think there was a long spell.
So
Speaking of next Pat fact, UGA leads the Nerd Series 70-39 with 5 ties, I guess.
yeah, but
that's called an ass whipping. That's almost not as bad as Bedlam, but like,
yeah,
that's an ass whipping.
yeah, and you know, it's one of those things that Bedlam just is a weird one because, like, to me, Bedlam should be a lot closer than it is. Like, looking at that and knowing
Feels
that,
like it should.
that's only a 30-point difference. Rick, there it is, 13-2, and one of those was an overtime loss, if I remember right, or a last-second field goal, one or the other. I think it was maybe a last-second field goal to send it to overtime, and then a loss. But
Yeah,
you know,
I think a lot of us.
that Kirby cares, Bobo cares. They're not going to sleepwalk through these guys. They're going to try to beat them, you know, by 4 or 5 scores. But don't expect it to be, you know, like Kentucky or like Ole Miss. Like, there's a chance you sleepwalk a little bit through the first quarter. But I don't know. The fact that it's a night game, that's a huge difference too. Because this is always
that is very key. I think that's very different because – for what it's worth, right? I don't remember the last time this was a night game. I think it had to have been years ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a night game.
Was it 2015 maybe?
Kirby's been a coach because 16 was during the day, and then the rest of them have all been during the day. And we skipped COVID.
See if there's a way to find the last night game. I know when they had Megatron, or was it Demarius? I think we played a night game. But other than that, though, I mean, like, it's just a lot of nooners, man, and that shit, it's kind of like, eh. But I think the fact that it's a 7:30 game because it's on ABC as well. So I'd like to think that these guys are, you know, getting up for that game. Now, for what it's worth, I want to have this theory, but I know it won't happen because I know Kirby Smart and you do too. I just want to wear black to their stadium. And just black it, you know what I mean? Just do a blackout there. But I know it won't happen.
At all.
I know it won't happen. Kobe, I saw your comment. Yes, they are actually bowl eligible, I believe. I think they just cracked it last week.
6-5. Yeah. I remember last week they were 5-5, but I couldn't remember if they won.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse. Yeah, they beat Syracuse.
I think that's really important. Like the fact they're not playing for something. You know, like if you're 5-6, you're really hyping these guys up like, man, we really want to go to a bowl game. But now you're 6-5. You're like, okay, you know, we're definitely playing in a bowl game. You know, lose to Georgia, big deal. We get to go play in a bowl, have a good time, get a big per diem check, get a gift.
Yeah, extra practices, man. Extra practices for them is key too. Speaking of key, man, Brent Key, you know, last year was his first year as Georgia Tech interim head coach. I think it was at the time when we played the first time. But one of the things that surprised me was his preparation on that first opening drive, right? It wasn't the fact that, like, listen, we knew we handled that game even when we played sloppy. But I think for me, it was something that I had to keep an eye out for, was just how prepared they were. Like that first drive, they went down the field and made it look easy. You know what I mean? And that was something I wasn't expecting per se. Like I knew we would kind of sleepwalk potentially, but I wasn't expecting them to do it because nobody had done that really. So they go down and they just march it down the field easily. Just boop, 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 boop.
I haven't seen my man Jeff's under-overs, but one of them this week should be like under-over 2.5 points given up in the first drive.
No, I don't think that's there. I've got the over-unders. We'll talk about them in a little bit. I think that'll be worth it too. But, yeah, I think – well, hold on. I got another Pat fact. We have like – Pat facts are like breaking news almost for us. We are 37-23-4 in the Beehive. So at Mark Richtfield, we are at 37-23-4.
That means we were pretty 50-50 there before Mark Richt took over.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, right? I mean, at home it's a different story, but on the road it's still interesting to hear that.
Well, because let's do the math. We've only lost 16 times all time in Athens. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a lot of dubs. Keon, with this Georgia Tech rivalry, I think being us around the same age, I think this was probably one of our first memories of this rivalry was Reggie Ball.
Yeah.
Kobe, what was your first memory of this rivalry? What was the first memory that you can recall?
I'd like to say I remember Megatron playing in a couple of these, but that could just be me going back when I was older and like rewatching those games. I just always remembered he was so good and just never played well in these games, and
a
never
Paul Johnson offense too. That's a creepy thing.
Yeah, and never could seem to win. A lot of my first memories, like you're saying, is it seemed like we could never be good at the same time, or if they were really good, and we played them, we would just always seem to win. Like in a year that we would be like, I think the year like 03 or 04, we're like 8-point underdogs, and we end up winning by like 7 or 8. Like things like that always seemed to happen when Mark Richt was here. You know, you'd be unranked and beat them, or you'd be number 5 and lose to them. And it just always seemed to be kind of funky. But
Project Pat remembers the tribal chief Roman Reigns. I'm not acknowledging. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. But no, I think this year's Georgia Tech team, right? Like you said, they're 6-5, finally bowl eligible, right? So you don't have to worry about them have everything to lose at this point, right? They actually can play for the postseason. But I think it's interesting to note. We'll talk Georgia Tech first, and then we'll transition back to Georgia on this. But you obviously got Haynes King, right? Transferred in. Buster Faulkner is the OC now. Right, I think that's something to keep in mind too, because Buster's got that offense looking a lot better, in my opinion, than years past. Right, you got Haynes King. I think he's got almost like 2,600 yards or something passing, and they got Jamal Haynes as a running back. I think he's got like 800 to 850 yards or something like that rushing, and I think that guy's pretty good for what it's worth. But we know Georgia, and we know the predication on stopping the run. So, we'll talk more about that in just a second. But, you got Don Blaylock there, Brett Seither's there. Kobe, are those guys that you've had discussion? Have you talked to those guys any recently or no? No?
Okay. I haven't talked to any of the guys that have transferred out. I figured that for guys like that, it's one of those things that, like, if I happen to bump into you, great. But otherwise, you're kind of on that 1-year rental deal of like, hey, I'm transferring because I want to play and I want to at least have a chance to, possibly play in the league, even if it's, on a practice squad and maybe have to prove yourself a little bit. I think that's a great thing, like for Dom, especially Brett too. I think Brett has a little bit more eligibility, but Dom just was such a good player coming out of high school, so highly recruited. And then just at this point, like a lot of injuries. So just unfortunate for him.
I see Rude's got his own little Rude's news here. Juan played in the first bowl game ever, World War I. Or is it World War I? Look at that. Now, I think that's a good call there. I do think it's interesting, though, too. I know for what it's worth, like we laugh and we shit on Georgia Tech all the time, but at the same time, it does feel good seeing Andrew Smart, right, walking around with that dry erase board with "We Run This State." It's just so fun to see, because every year you get that picture. It don't matter. I mean, you got Richard LeCount in front of the Georgia Tech fans at Bobby Dodd. Then you got Ben Jones with the dry erase board. A lot of Andrew Smarts. So, I mean, it's just fun to know you run the state. You know what I mean? But let's do this as well. Georgia keys. Let's talk keys to victory here. What does Georgia have to do to make sure that they go into the SEC championship game undefeated?
Show up.
Show up. Okay.
Don't look ahead. That's the other one.
Could you feel that could this be a slight trap game?
No.
The fact that I honestly ABC helped us in that the fact that it's a night game. nooners are always a bigger trap than a night game.
I think that's interesting to know. I think Kirby, for some reason, I feel like this team is just focused, man. Like, I just think this team is just purely fucking focused. And I'm okay
Also, I want all of our starters benched at halftime. All of them. Offense, defense, special teams. If we got a backup kicker, bring him on. Like I can't. I need everybody bubble wrapped by the second half.
Fair enough. Send them back to Athens in the second half. Let them beat the traffic.
No,
What year was that? 2017, 2018? One of those 2 years. It must have been 18, I think. That we basically did that. Like,
Well, it would have been 2017, I think it was, because odd years are when we play at Bobby Dodd.
So it would have been 17, maybe.
Yeah.
It was a year that we were just up. We were just beating the piss out of them. And it was like all of a sudden just this huge mass substitution, and the two offense was still just scoring points left and right. Good feeling. I mean, it's like the Natty. It's a great feeling when you can throw in the twos and
just still let them
keep on going.
Yeah, Rudes and Pat are in the building, man. They're just conversing up, and I love it. Yeah, I think Rude says losing with Mark Richt to the Tech triple option was pain. Yeah,
only did it twice though.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, Rudes, it was twice, but it's still painful losing to Tech, man. For what it's worth.
I mean, Kirby Smart single-handedly made it his, prerogative to get Paul Johnson fired. No doubt. Like,
all right, calm down.
Hated playing triple option.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had a game plan for it. Like, you couldn't, like, you literally had during the season had to take a week, and it's something you never really see. So you have to game plan against it. Like, that's why some teams, if they have that, you sit there, you'll play like an Army or something, right? Think about it. If you know you're going to play somebody like that, like play somebody that runs triple option early in the season, that way you get some experience. But yeah, I'm glad that shit's over with. I want to ask a question for y'all guys, and the brigade here. Do you think Georgia Tech works out pregame on the sidelines? Yes or no?
Nope, not without the clown in charge.
So Jeff Collins had the barbells. Y'all remember that when Pollock brought that up? I was like, what?
My man Geoff Collins over there. Tiptoes Collins.
404 Collins for the 404. That's all he was good for.
The tiptoe pictures with the recruits.
Yeah, hold on.
Speaking of, you look at that recruiting picture and be like, this is the guy. This is the man that is going to turn me into an NFL player.
So here we go. Here got some comments now. I got different folks in here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. I'll give it a little quick roll call. Obviously, Project Pat. Got Rudes, right? Rudy Rising. You got Mike D, and you got Doghouse Podcast. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Pat Fact here. Keon has more braids than Tech has wins in the series.
Locked. My hair is locked. Locked up, kind of like Kamari Lassiter covering any wide receiver.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Oh, dear heavens. Doghouse Podcast, good comment here. Says, Dogs haven't lost to Georgia Tech in Atlanta since 1999. So there's your streak. That's nastiness. That's nasty work.
Yeah, I was 4. Yeah.
Rude says he thinks Georgia Tech does calculus in the pregame warmups. Or trigonometry. Excuse me.
I'm gonna tell you this: they start asking any math questions, we might be.
Yeah, I mean, if we get put onto a debate stage, we might have an issue there.
This turns into the little addition subtraction. Our fellas may be done, but
by God, you put 11 and 12 personnel, or tell like I really want to know if Georgia Tech fans know what the fuck a touchdown is, because. Let's be honest. I hope they have some sort of IQ with this game, because, dude, all week so far to this point, the only shit talk that I've seen is engineering memes and shit like that. I'm just sitting there like, if this is the best you can do, God, we're gonna absolutely skull fuck you on the field Saturday. Like, and it ain't even gonna be close.
To be fair, I mean, even historically, this team hasn't been very good. So I would say most of their graduates are not outward Georgia Tech fans. So
I mean, it's a good point, I suppose, too. But Visor in here saying fuck Tech and everything on North Ave. Yeah, varsity's overrated. Only good thing about Atlanta is Waffle House. I will gladly say Waffle House. Rude says UGA's debate team speaks with their paths, and that is 100% accurate. I would say that's 100% accurate. Would you say?
yeah, I would say so. I would say our debate team would not be just showing up in suits. It would probably be like the Spike Squad, kind of how their debate team shows up.
So, okay, so I take that back. Rude's is in Atlanta, so outside of Waffle House and Rude's, ain't nothing worth fucking Atlanta like that. I mean, like anything related to Georgia Tech. Okay, Georgia Tech can go rotten shit. Like seriously, don't care. But now Rude's is a treasure. We must protect them. Let's do this. Do you have any Carson? Let's talk about Carson Beck. Does Carson Beck have any issues with this game? I don't see an issue with him in this game. I don't know if they have. I don't think they have any issue offensively slowing down. I don't see that slowing down at all.
Yeah, no, I think that obviously Faulkner, whenever there is offensive minded, he's been around Beck a lot. I mean, he's gonna know some tendencies, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's not like Glenn Schumann went over to Georgia Tech. I may be sweating a little bit more than I currently am.
I think prepare yourself. If you're a Georgia fan, prepare yourself for maybe a toned down offense. What I mean by that is you're not going to see anything flashy. You're not like you might just go run to the basics, win the game, and then like Mike D says, prepare for a warm-up game. Right? This basically could be a warm-up game for Alabama. Maybe so. He might be onto something. Roots thinks that Vandergrift will be in by third quarter, showing our run and gun offense. I mean, I would love to see. I think he hasn't had an opportunity to do that this year. And I think if we can do that, I think that'll be crucial for him.
Pretty impressive, Mike, saying that their total offense ranks 30th in the country.
And Bama's is 49th? No, at the same time, their offenses looked significantly better than at the beginning of the year, too. But that is funny to see.
Well, and it's just interesting. It shows what a big upgrade Faulkner has been for Georgia Tech, too.
It's true, too. It's just true. Let's see. So Visor's go-to side is collards and ham hocks. Okay. Fair point. Gotta have enough. I'm assuming you gotta vinaigrette down the right way, right? You don't want them too much. But yeah. Visor says he's good if the dogs just run the ball down their throat. Speaking of running, I think this is another game that you could see a lot of guys getting a lot of touches on the ground. They're pretty susceptible to the run. I don't think that's a hard thing to do at all. I mean, I think this is one of those games that I think Kendall will have a field day in this game because I just don't see anybody matching his physicality on that squad at all. Like we saw Tennessee make business decisions and avoid his ass. So I would assume Georgia Tech's going to either fuck around and find out or do the same. Just let it be. Could be wrong, but that's just me. What do you think?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. There it goes. I wasn't unmuting for some reason. Yeah, I think you're gonna run the ball at will. I was actually looking up to see what they were kind of averaging on points against and like rush yards against to kind of see how that statistically matched up. I mean, obviously we're gonna definitely come out in the green, but just always interesting. They've played some good games and some bad games. I guess the one common opponent I can see from early in the season is they played Ole Miss 48-23. If that's any indication of kind of how that may or may not go. Lost to Bowling Green, beat Miami by the field goal on the crazy game. Beat North Carolina, scored 45 back-to-back weeks. North Carolina, Virginia. I really think Clemson is going to be the game that's the most similar to us, probably as far as like Clemson's defense. It's 42-21. I would say that could be a pretty comparable game. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to score 21, but that 38-42 range and the 14-17 range would be something I would imagine. So,
yeah, no doubt. I think again, I think you just look at it. I think Pat, where's it at? Pat Fat. He dropped a Pat Fat. There's been larceny in quotations in this robbery, and we stole their, I guess it's the Ramblin' Wreck twice. They also stole our chapel bell and the Bulldog statue. Maybe that's why we have the hatred there. Maybe that's just
the chapel bell is crazy.
Yeah, that would be insane to think about. Yeah, that'd be insane.
I would say looking here, the one thing that just statistically may worry me a little bit is the fact that Haynes King is their second leading rusher on the team. He's rushed about 98 times for 630 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Not bad for a quarterback. That's not bad for a quarterback at all.
So I'd say at that point, that's a little concerning, but also, looking up at his like passing statistics, he's thrown 26 touchdowns, which is still pretty impressive. And then, but also has thrown 15 interceptions.
Yeah, that's leading. Ain't that leading the country?
I'd say it's pretty close. That's pretty.
I want to say that's.
rough.
I want to say that's. Yeah, I think he might be leading the country in turnovers. So that'll be interesting there. Speaking of turnovers, do you want to go ahead and do our over-unders for the week?
Sure. Where did
might be a good time to transition?
Keon coming back?
Yeah, Keon's right here. He's here. All right.
Hello.
So, hey, there he is.
Keon.
All right, over-unders for the week. Carson Beck.
Under.
Hold on. Let me read them off.
Oh, my bad.
Man, I didn't get down. Carson Beck, 3/4 of play. Milton and Edwards combined, 175 rushing yards. UGA defense, 2.5 takeaways. Receivers for Georgia, 3.5 receiving touchdowns. Bowers and McConkey combined 120 receiving yards. And a repeat per request, Michael Williams, half a sack. Now, with that being said, we'll bring it up first. Carson Beck, 3/4 of play. Does Carson Beck play over under 3/4?
Under.
Under 3/4. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with that. He will be. I feel like we need to specify all of us right now.
Three full quarters.
Okay, so if he comes out with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, we're fine.
Yes, if Brock Vandegrift is playing before the fourth quarter starts, then yes.
I'm in. I'm in with the under.
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under too. I was sitting there thinking about it, but I was like, I'm gonna overthink it if I don't. So I'm going under as well. I'm going under as well there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's something. If he's playing into the fourth quarter, I want like a couple of plays to finish a drive off and then be done. If that, you see what I mean?
If he's playing into the fourth quarter, this game is a lot closer than anybody in this comment section or anybody on this podcast is currently predicting. It's a 3-point game at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Visor's saying smash that under, by the way. Smash that under. Let's pull up the next one here. Milton and Edwards, 175 combined rushing yards.
Over.
I'll ride with Keon this week. Let's go over.
Let's do it.
I'm sitting here thinking about this one because I think this is something we really need to pay attention to, because I think you could see us move the ball in the air and then run the ball in from short yardage touchdowns to run the score up, but then not have Dejon and Kendall running the ball after a certain period. You could have Roderick Robinson. You could have Cash Jones. You see what I mean? I think I'm going to go under on this. And I think it's close. I do think it'll be close. I just think it'll be under, because I think you'll have enough rotation of guys. You'll have enough air yards, passing yards, where you'll get touchdowns, short yardage in the red zone and stuff. You might have one breakaway run. I just don't know how big of a run, but I'm going to go under. So y'all got over on those? Is that correct? So both of y'all are over and I'm under.
Yep.
Okay. UGA defense, 2.5 takeaways.
Under,
and that's a lot of takeaways, man. I mean, listen, he threw 4 picks in one game.
And if he does, I'll just smile and take my loss on the week. But until proven otherwise, I'm not seeing us take the ball away.
So the reason why I went under 2, and now that y'all are stuck, think about Dylan Bell getting some touches potentially at running back as well, because he's going to get some expanded touches. But either way, in regards to 2.5 takeaways, I think we get 2, so I'm going to stick under. So I think everybody's on board with the under there.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody is the under here. Moving on to the next one. UGA receivers, 3.5 receiving touchdowns.
Over.
Ooh.
Over.
Does it count if Dylan Bell runs one in?
Yes.
Well, my question is it a touch pass?
A receiving touchdown, so you have to catch it and then run in.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm going under. I'm with you. I think we're going.
Well, you're by yourself at this point. I haven't said anything. Keon went over.
Yep, I'm under.
Right?
It right at that 3 mark.
Yeah, Keon went over. Kobe went under.
Yep.
I'm going to go under on this, and I think it's because we get the ball into the red zone and then just run it down their throat into the end zone. So, I mean, if this was rushing touchdowns from the Russian running backs, 3.5, sign me up all day. Just sign me up.
Actually, wait. Yeah, let me go ahead and get under on that one then.
Are you sure we're already starting this?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody.
Later, I'm going to flip all my graphics posts.
I fucking hate you for that too. UGA receivers, 3.5. Everybody chooses under. Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, 120 receiving yards combined. Over, under.
Never mind.
I want to say under here only because I just feel like McConkey is not going to play a lot, if at all. So I think basically you're gambling on Bowers going 120 plus by himself. And I mean, while that's not a bad gamble, I just think they'll be a little under because, like you're saying, we're not going to play deep into this game.
Yep.
Keep in mind, Brock Bowers as a freshman completely ripped him a new asshole on a long-ass run by himself. Why would it not surprise me if he went for $120 by himself? Just saying. Just thought. I didn't. I'm just saying. I didn't say it is or not.
But I think we got too many mouths to feed this game.
No, listen. I'm going under, but I'm saying it wouldn't be crazy for me to believe he could go for $120 or more.
I'm not calling you crazy. I just would say you're wrong on.
Keon thought it was.
No, I did. No, I did.
Yeah. Come on down. So everybody's under on this. I think McConkey don't even play. I think you rest him for the SEC championship game and go from there.
Correct.
So I'm looking at it as Bowers 120 receiving yards. That's a lot of receiving yards. Michael Williams, half a sack.
Over.
I love the over because if in doubt, he can always split the hairs with just getting a half a sack.
Yeah, I'm going over on this as well because it'll push, if anything. Listen, I got bit on that one last week. I think I think for what it's worth, him setting the edge and getting to the quarterback and keeping him in the pocket is going to be key there. So I think if the interior does their job, Mike Hill can feast off that shit. So
sounds like somebody finna get punched on.
I mean, I'm on board for that. So there's your over-unders for the week. We got a bunch of comments in the meantime. So a lot of people just putting their over-unders with us. Project Pet says calling for DGD Pat special, so we got to have over on to make that happen. Oh, I think he's going 63-3. Already calling his shot. Okay.
A 63-3 would be absolute nasty work.
I'm just letting you know right now. If the Project Pat special happens, Georgia ain't not missing the fucking playoffs at all. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Just go leave that there. Yeah, Mike D says McConkey's probably going to run reps, but very limited. Listen, we didn't even bring this up. Years past, I'd be so scared for playing your key players. Pickens, they found a way to get him hurt us ultimately, right, by having him out of the game against Bama in the championship game. And Paul Johnson, you always had to worry about the cut blocks. I don't know if you have to worry about that, but you still have that little deep down fear. Am I crazy to think that, or
no?
I mean, not that crazy. It just would be one of those things that you get in, always want to play a clean game, hope that nobody goes down with anything crazy. Any week, it's kind of like Tate last week. Like, not a crazy play that Tate gets hurt on, just kind of it's football at some point. So, just hope that if anybody gets hurt, it's very minor. It's something they can recover from quickly, and then hopefully we come out completely healthy and unscathed. So
I'm with you. Visor S, do Tennessee fans know who Mykel Williams do Tennessee fans know Mykel Williams' name after last Saturday? They better fucking know by now. If they don't, that's on them. So yeah, I think he made himself known because he was the only one to get a sack, if I'm not mistaken, too. But we ain't talking about Tennessee anymore. We put that shit to bed, beat their ass in Neyland, and now we move on to Georgia Tech, take over their trap too. Mike D says Georgia Tech offense cut blocks have been limited due to their scheme. Remember, this is the Monken type scheme. Cut blocks are very limited. Yeah.
I believe we're aware of that, Mike. I think he's just saying that in years past, it would
have
been a worry.
Correct. Yeah, Kobe clarified that. Yeah, 100%. I do think it'll be interesting to see. Listen, I'm not necessarily worried as much about their personnel. I know they got Eric Singleton as their leading receiver. Eric Singleton Jr., if you'd be specific. I think he's got like 600 yards receiving. It's not terrible. Still nothing too crazy. We've seen better receivers, I think, in my opinion. We saw Luther Burden. We saw, Trey Harris, all that stuff. And just shut that shit down. So
if anything, the thing about this game and their offense to me is this is a not really a coming out party, but almost like a job opportunity for Buster Faulkner. You have a good game, a solid game. There are going to be a lot of OC jobs, a lot better OC jobs open this offseason. You have a good game against the Dogs. Even if you don't score necessarily well, but as long as you scheme well and have success, I can think of places that are dying to have a proper offensive coordinator. Texas A&M is going to be a place. Arkansas currently is a place. There are going to be some names kind of floating around, and a good game against us would be a good opportunity for him to kind of be able to look elsewhere if he needed to or wanted to. I'm not sure how close he is.
I think it depends, but yeah. I mean, listen, I think Faulkner was one of the guys that it didn't necessarily hurt to lose him, but he was a good guy. Like, he was a good analyst here. I thought so. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we've seen that transfer over as well. But keep in mind, Georgia was the one that saw Todd Monken's offense for 3 years. And if there's anybody that knows that offense, it's going to be Kirby Smart in that defense. That's just my initial thought there. You want to do some? Let's do some bold predictions, hot takes, and then we can talk players of the game before we move over to our picks for the week. Are there any hot takes, bold predictions that you want to make before this game?
We get a pick 6.
Do you want to dig deeper and say who specifically, or you just want to just go in general?
No, I'm going to go in general. So when I'm right, I can be like, yeah, I knew it was going to be this guy. Because
see what you're saying. If Georgia, so Mike D says if Georgia Tech's offense played in the second of the Louisville game, they would have dominated them. Maybe so, but they didn't. And here we are.
I'm thinking I'm calling three. Let's see, 1, 2. Calling 330 plus yards for Carson Beck.
That's easy. I think that's
manageable before he pulls. He hadn't done it a lot this year, but I think that 330, 350 mark, I think he hits it in the first 3 quarters before he gets gone. I think they're going to be like kind of like Mike said, kind of like we've talked about. I think you're going to take some shots between the 20s. I think you will just try to hurt them between 20 to 20. I think that once you get inside the 20, the run game is going to come alive a little bit more.
Boy, I know y'all see this. Mike Dudley with a hot take saying we play 3 quarterbacks this game. God. Dog.
I love it.
I like it.
That would be the game going exactly how I'd like the game to go.
Oh, 100%.
Early often, just yeah.
It'll be like 1 second half drive for the one offense, then the whole third quarter played by the 2's offense, and a majority of the fourth quarter played by the 3's. It would be fun to see.
I'm gonna drop a hot take. I think this is the game we'll get a house call. And what I mean by that is could be a punt return, could be a kick return. I think a punt return. I think you see a punt return to the house. Also, I don't even know if this is a hot take, but the way this season's went, I think it might be. Georgia Tech does not score a single point on their first drive. This is the game that streak stops.
Hey, maybe so. If I'll put it this way though, if they don't score on their first drive, they may be in for a long day. Because to me, anybody who scored on the first drive, like we've still made the adjustments, but it's looked better for their point total, obviously, because they've scored 7 points early. Yeah. If you walk away with 0 points and then we adjust, we could be looking at like a 10-point
complete shutout. Yeah, you might see a shut the fuck out. Not saying it will, but I'm saying there's a potential if you do that. There's a potential for it.
Maybe.
Depends on how you look. How about that?
Yeah, I would say I was more saying like you may only give up 10 points and not like 17.
Yes, no, that's fair too. I think it's more reasonable, but yeah, I mean, is there a chance of a shutout, guys? Do you think there's a chance that we shut them out?
No.
No, okay. I don't think we've shut anybody out. Oh,
I think absolutely not. I think that they will at least kick a field goal.
100%.
Now the question is, do they, they angle, right? The right angles and stuff like that, right? I'm sure get that shit right too. Get that lined up right. Probably right there. But yeah, I think are there any other ones? Any takes y'all want to make? Do we get a scoop and score? Is there a chance for a scoop and score? I think that's very hard to come by, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. The only other hot take I could possibly think of is that we rock the blacks. Black jerseys. That'd be the only other hot take that it could even cross my mind. And that's so hot that I wouldn't even want to touch it.
My word.
It's just not going to happen.
Oh, my word. Oof. It happens. I can't help it. Kobe's got the swolders. Keon's just Keon, and sometimes I bark. I can't help it. Now, if you throw the black,
I like that from Mike. Cash touchdown.
Ooh, boy.
You know what? This does seem like a Cash Jones kind of game. I'm not gonna lie. It really does. It really does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
These white men are dangerous. No one is to go near them.
Those are facts.
Do we have a Pocahontas type game? Brock Bowers touchdown. Cash Jones touchdown.
Carson Beck
on his one play gets
Carson
in.
Beck rushing touchdown. Carson Beck rushing touchdown. Ooh.
That'd be some stuff that FanDuel would put out for your parlay for the day.
Listen, you could talk the trifecta, but if Carson Beck threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, Bowers caught a touchdown, Cash ran for a touchdown, and Ladd caught a touchdown, Mike D is right. Elite whites.
I'm not sure we could get Trey back alive. I think
Trey might bust. Trey would bust. Trey would bust.
Well, I mean,
he would bust. Yeah, it'd be done.
Yeah. Okay.
KTG in the building. Thankful for you guys. Much love. Absolutely, man. No doubt. Hey, man. Shout out KTG, by the way. Oh, I see you. Andrew Paul, 2 tutties. Representing Dallas down there, Keon.
100%. I could see it. I could definitely see it. I could see a touchdown from him and Andrew Paul. And actually, who knows? Anthony Evans? Hello?
Zeed Haynes. Not Yazid anymore. Zeed Haynes. I love that name change, by the way. Zeed Haynes sounds a lot dirtier than, more dope-ass name than – not saying Yazid ain't bad either, but Zeed's just got that, cold feel to it. And I'm all board with that. What you talking about, Whoa DGD for, man? I'm talking about Trey, man. If you had all that right there, my man would not know what to do with himself. The memes would be flowing. But I digress. Mike D says, freshman receiving touchdown. Could this be the game that a Pierce or a Lawson get a touchdown?
Yeah, it could be.
It'd be the kind of game that, obviously nobody asked me my opinion, but it'd be the kind of game that they'd be playing a majority of the snaps. I wouldn't be jogging 19 out there for a majority of them this game.
Fair point. This is fair point. Oh, Pat Fact. KTG gave Project Pat the DGD Pat nickname. Okay. Still throwing. I'm surprised. Project Pat's still throwing Pat Facts out. I love it. Let's do play.
He was off work tomorrow. He stay up all night with us. He said, I'm off work.
He's prepping. He said, I'm gonna take my nap tomorrow. We good. Hit that like button. Hold on. Hit that like button if you plan on taking a nap tomorrow after you eat.
No, for sure.
Just do a favor and hit that like button if you're going to take a nap, because I'm sure a lot of us are.
You want to get to the picks?
No, not that. Let's do our predictions. Let's do player of the game predictions and then picks. Yes. Who's your player of the game prediction, Kobe?
Let's think of somebody fun and random. Let's go with Dom Lovett. Has 2 touchdowns. He's my player of the game. He has a big game. With Ladd out, has 100-yard receiving, 2 touchdowns. Finally has a big game going into Alabama. I just worry that a couple of the guys, like we're all talking about, you're just not going to be able to play long enough to be like the true player of the game. But if Dom Lovett can score 2 touchdowns, I think that'll be pretty big for his step forward.
Keon, who you got?
Give me Marcus for exactly 2 touchdowns. I think this could be a game that he really steps out. Speaking
of Marcus Roseman, Jack saying, I just posted this, guys. next Monday. So I want to make the announcement again on the show while we got folks in here. Next Monday, 27th at 7 p.m., Marcus Rosemary will actually be on the show. We're doing a special episode. So there's the link there in the chat to get yourself a free ticket there, right? Listen, going to talk prepping for the SEC championship game, right? So come prepared with questions, but you need to claim your ticket. Check our Twitter accounts, stuff like that. Like I said, link is posted in the chat. Get your tickets now because they're going to go fast. They're going fast. Simple as that. So I wanted to bring that up as well. So listen, also just let it be known. Spread the word. Let the folks know. Let's talk to Mr. Rosemary Jack Saint next Monday, and obviously looking forward to that as well. Keon, so you called Marcus Rosemary as your player of the game. Oh man, I want CJ Allen to be the player of the game. I think he's going to be the guy to keep. I think he'll be keeping Haynes in check the whole game. I need
CJ Allen to be the player of the game next week.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that too. I think CJ Allen, I think this is going to be a big game for him in regards to more growth as well. You got another quarterback that can run the ball, right? More of an able runner than a linear runner type like Joe. You know what I mean? Joe didn't really run that much. So I think you got to keep it in check. And I think it's going to take CJ Allen having a really good game to do that. So I want CJ Allen to get the game.
If we're talking defense, I don't think you can say anything about them without saying Dalen Everett. Still need you to have a big game.
Yeah.
Keep stacking good games. It's only going to help your growth kind of going down the stretch. I think Buster's obviously not stupid. He's not going to attack Kamari Laster on the regular. He's going to try to expose where he believes he has the advantage. So there's a good chance that, Dalen gets a lot of targets his way.
I think Javon Bullard is going to play a key factor here too in that game. I just think so. I think he might even get a pick. I think he's one of the picks.
Hot takes for the game. We'll go back to him real quick because I just thought about him. Do any former Georgia Bulldogs score a touchdown in the game?
I think Dom does on the first drive, maybe, or on the second drive. I don't think you beat us on an explosive, but I think it would be. I think I could see Buster trying to be petty and let Dom score. My question is,
I don't think that's petty though. I just think that's just fun.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I think it would be interesting to see whoever Lassiter is on is getting shut down. So whoever Everett is has the best shot. So it could be a Dom and Everett situation. I think that would be interesting to see.
Good deal.
It's just one. Let's see. Okay, so let's see let's see this right here. He said hot take. Aguero 2 tackles for loss and an interception / fumble recovery. That's super specific. Like it though. Completely like it. Completely like that. Let's see. Any other things before we get to our picks, gentlemen?
No.
All right. Second sponsor of the night, guys. Y'all know him. Alumni Hall. Get geared up using our website, dgdpodcast.com. Again, check the sponsors. Shop Alumni Hall. And do yourself a favor because, listen, they just got everything you need. Licensed Nike, Cutter and Buck, everything like that. And also, while we're at it, Alumni Hall is also helping us out with our SEC championship giveaway. Pinned tweet, right, on the DGD podcast. Go to it, like and retweet that, or repost it, excuse me. Like and repost it. Comment your score prediction and who you have winning. Closest person, or the winner who comes the closest, will have a choice of one of the sweaters, pullovers, long sleeve shirts, hoodie. But if you hit a perfect score, you can choose a jersey as well, or you can choose a jersey instead. So you will get a jersey if you hit a perfect score, but the winner will choose one of the 4 options of the long sleeve shirts on the image here as well. I think that'll be pretty interesting. Got a lot of stuff there to go through. So make sure you do yourself a favor. You can do that right there, and also give them a follow at Alumni Hall UGA, Twitter, Instagram. Go give them a follow. Let them know DGD Podcast sent you. Also, in stores only, mention our show and get 10% off. So if you're heading to Atlanta, swing by Alumni Hall real fast, get you a nice polo, and tell them DGD sent you, and get that 10% off of that order.
No, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I actually just bought some stuff from Alumni Hall, so shout outs to Alumni Hall.
There you
Got
go.
2 hoodies.
Look at you. That's what I'm talking about. Getting cold weather too.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, Kobe, you pulled up some stats real fast before our pick. Sorry, I know, but you double checked. So, former Dogs, Scyther has 6 catches for 73 yards, 4 tutties. Dom has 21 catches for 337, 2 touchdowns. So it's not terrible, but could be better for what it's worth. But it is what it is.
I mean, that's wild that Brett has caught
4 touchdowns,
6 catches, and 4 of them have been for touchdowns.
So maybe that former Dog could be Scyther in the end zone. You never know. Interesting to think. Guys, it's time for the picks. Let's do this. Big changes. All right. Big changes, folks. There is a new second place. I took over second place. So now, Keon, you're trying to push up for Juan. Okay. Got to make some moves here, man. Got to make some moves. Brigade, Keon went 4-6 record wise. Juan went 3-7. Kobe went 5-5, and so did I. Excuse me. In regards to the points, here's what the results look like. Hit the NC State pick to get me up 2 points to push up 2 points over Juan into second place. So I'll take that. USC screwed us, guys. USC screwed us. James Madison screwed us. We tried to go for Stanford, and Stanford just couldn't get it done. So, and also Washington beat Oregon State. Kobe, by the way, good pick on the Arizona, sir. Good pick on the Arizona, and likewise on the Clemson pick. So I'll take that. Keon, hey, nice pick on the Gamecocks, by the way, too. Thought that was a good pick. We had some good picks there. Some good
My
picks.
man
Also called it with Louisville.
My man at Kentucky is so lucky that they just don't care. They just don't care. They went in there and lost 17-14. Like, that's just so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. It hurts me.
Couldn't be my team.
Well, it just hurts me every year that, like, I mean, we're talking about week 4, week 5 before we play them. People are like, oh, this is a different Kentucky team than years past. This is a good Kentucky team. This is a Ray Davis run-led Kentucky team. And here we are. They play Louisville this week. And if they lose, they're 6-6. I mean, it just doesn't get any more mid than 6-6.
Way to go, Turbo. Way to go. Guys, let's jump into the first round of the picks, man. First game of the week. I think this is going to be interesting here. UTSA versus Tulane. Green Wave.
This is like the first round of interviews for Texas A&M job right here.
Very well could be. You got Trailer.
I got him probably becoming the coach for Texas A&M.
How's that going to look? We'll see how that looks later.
It's gonna actually work out very well for him. I'm really excited. I hope it happens.
There's a chance. So Brigade, Kobe, Juan goes to Lane. Keon, me and you are riding with Jeff Trailer.
100%.
Think that he gets shit done and makes a statement for the A&M job. What you're thinking?
Yep.
I do like their offense, by the way. Their offense is pretty fucking good for what it's worth. I know Tulane's ranked, but I do think Tulane's played a lot more close games, and UTSA could score pretty quickly if need be. So Mike says Tulane as well. So I think this will be interesting. Already starting off on a different streak here.
This will be a big game too because
I think it will too.
With Tulane being the ranked team, I think they're the highest ranked group of five schools.
I believe so.
They're sweating at this point as a one-loss team. I mean, they would they know how much fun it is to play on a New Year's Six bowl, and walk away victorious. So they're two games away from getting to play in another New Year's Six, like we talked about with James Madison. You just don't have at a small school like that. You just don't have a long window of opportunity to play in big games of that caliber. So got to enjoy it and take advantage of it when you can.
No doubt. I think that'll be a good game to watch. Next matchup, maybe not so much. Texas A&M, LSU. Guys, Keon.
Holy.
Is everybody on board? Everybody on the same page? Yes, sir.
Alexa, play neck. Let's do it. Go Tigers.
Yeah, everybody's on board with that. I swear to God, if Neck starts playing, I'm going to start singing with it because that shit's fucking low-key fire. All right? And that's from a third party.
What's crazy is they lost this game last year. That's just unbelievable to think back to. Like, they're getting ready to play us in the SEC championship game, and then they lose this game. Oh,
it took all the air out of the fucking game, too. Took all of it.
I think it'll be a game that LSU's in for some revenge. So it'll be a big game.
Jaden Daniels could solidify the Heisman potentially. Listen, they padded his stats against whoever the fuck they played last week.
They're gonna pat him again, baby.
Boy, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. They're gonna keep his ass out there. Just if they score 80, they ain't gonna give a
400, 300 game. 400 in there, 300 on the ground.
Boy, that'd be nasty.
They probably hand him the trophy if he does that.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Tomorrow night, Thanksgiving, good old-fashioned Egg Bowl. Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Oh, God.
Listen, for what it's worth, this game has been interesting. Keon, what are you thinking? How are you feeling, everybody? Do you think people are on board, or we got any differences?
I think we're all rolling with Ole Piss, but the problem is my man Lane just loves to keep them from being a 10-win football team in the regular season, and they're 9-2, and he loves to make them 9-3. I think they've only had like one 10-win regular season ever, or maybe like 2 or 3 10-win seasons in school history. So it's not a meaningless game for Ole Miss. So
no, it's not. But I'm also saying I would rather watch the NFL than watch that shit.
Nah, I'll still watch this. Meanwhile, everybody chooses Ole Miss. So there is that. Listen, I've seen some crazy Egg Bowls in the past. I'm not saying it will be this game go around or not, but it has happened. And listen, they also don't have a head coach right now. So shit could get nasty.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're getting. You really don't know what you're about to get. Same with this matchup. And I think this is going to be interesting here because I think the view of this matchup is completely looked at as different here. North Carolina going to Raleigh to play NC State. The funny thing about it is, and the reason why I say it's funny is because they have the same record, but I've heard so many people say that NC State is trash. So does that mean UNC is trash even if they're ranked? Don't know. I will say this, though. Picks are in, and everyone chooses UNC on this. Now, is it because of Drake May over Brennan Armstrong? Probably so. On the road?
Well, I just think it makes sense. Also, shout outs to the Tar Heels basketball team. Took a dub today, 69-91. UNI, Northern Illinois. Yeah, Northern Illinois. Yeah, got a dub. Still undefeated. How's your Dukies? Are they undefeated?
Ranked higher than your bitch ass team.
We're still undefeated. Y'all have a loss.
It's fine. Still ranked higher, so it won't matter.
Yeah,
anyways,
it's gonna
that'll be fine.
Football, gentlemen. Football.
Yep.
Keep it going.
All right. Speaking of football, Donald Trump game right here, baby. The Trump Bowl. All right. Clemson, South Carolina. Funny thing is, I say that because Donald Trump is actually going to be at this game, confirmed apparently.
That's probably going to be the best thing that happens in that stadium.
100% right. 100% right. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge, right? I'm just going to leave that there. But give me Clemson. Give me Clemson all the way. Clemson 2024.
It would shock me to see anything except Clemson win this game.
Dude, like even at Willie B, I just don't know. Defense-wise, man, like South Carolina just ain't got it.
South Carolina just only scored 17 against Kentucky. They may not score at all.
Since we pull this back up, they're also so the brigade has got something in it that the brigade's been sabotaged. So
sometimes you just got to do that to the brigade, though.
They get what you deserve. In all seriousness, Twitter polls every Sunday, guys. Sunday through Tuesday. Make sure to go in there and place your vote. That way, listen, because right now, we don't keep points, right? Points wise, but for what it's worth, like y'all have made some crazy ass picks. So you gotta let these Twitter polls take place. I've seen some crazy shit happen on those things, by the way.
Call that negative recruiting.
Ain't my problem. All right, guys. So we got obviously Donald Trump right there. I think whoever Donald Trump endorses wins that game.
I mean, how's he not endorsed Dabo? Dabo feels like his kind of guy.
In God's name, image, and likeness. Yeah,
no doubt.
100%. 100%.
Next
100%.
game.
Boy, how this game changed. Florida State.
All right.
Florida.
All right. Let's not even talk about it. Let's drop the graphic, and then I can ridicule all of you. All right. Let's not even. All right. So Juan's not here. Kobe. Right. Why are we?
Wow.
Yeah. You really made the wrong decision. That's crazy. I'm actually disappointed.
I'm letting Keon do the talking. That way, if this game has turned out wrong, you get to go to him and not me.
That's fair. Why? Yeah. You think they're going to run the ball on him?
No. Actually, I'm changing my pick. No, I'm playing. Florida is beating the shit.
So like how? I get it, but I'm just saying like how? Like running the ball on them or throwing the ball or like
no, it's just gonna be a running game.
Okay.
It's gonna be a running game.
I think Max Brown opens up the kind of thing that Mertz didn't really do too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he adds that dimension to it, but he's also got home cooking too. And with two backup quarterbacks, I think home cooking could be the deciding factor. Defense could matter too. So I do want to make sure that you understand that too.
My man Kirby Jr. down there has been throwing out some freaking dookie games. So
scares you.
I don't know that.
I just think that Florida designs some pass rushes, right?
Uh-huh.
Designs a couple pass rushes to get the backup quarterback flustered enough to make mistakes. A couple mistakes is all it should take.
Yep.
I might be wrong, but that's just my thoughts. Especially with home cooking, it's going to be loud. You know this. Florida could do multiple things here. They could make a bowl game while also making sure that their rival does not get into the playoffs, and that is huge.
It's a lot to play for, no doubt.
They've actually got everything to play for at that point. 100%.
I think them fellas from Tallahassee. I'm also on the train, like being so close, living so close. I'm since about the 8th week when they started 8-0. I'm fully on the I want you in round one train.
100%.
I've been on that train very much because I know that even like a loss to Florida will just be, oh, Jordan Travis got hurt, which I'm fine with. I get it. Jordan Travis did get hurt, but just let me take care of that in round one. Let me just.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Take care of that in round one. I would like to.
I mean, I'm not going to change my pick, but I hope I'm wrong because I don't want to see Florida celebrate anything. Now that I
No,
really think
I would
about it,
love for them. I would love for
Yeah.
them to be 5-7, not make a bowl. I'd be interested.
Exactly.
Pat fact, you could maybe even glance at this, Pat. When the last time Florida didn't make a bowl? I think they have quite the streak going, if I remember right.
Yeah, I want Florida to lose. Yeah, I want Florida to lose.
You're not changing your pick.
That's fine. I still want Florida to lose.
That's fair. All right. There's the battle of the backups.
All right. So Oregon is going to smack the piss out of these guys.
Yeah, I can't ride with DJ Ukulele 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
I gave him all my faith against Washington. Gave it all to him. I was like, brother, I will forever die on that Dabo was the problem if you win this game, and you just couldn't do it. And so now I'm like, maybe Dabo wasn't the problem. Man,
He's probably going to be a running back or a tight end in the league. Let's really be honest. But
maybe he'll learn and play the actual position like Tebow too.
You can't make me believe that he's going to be a quarterback in the NFL. I just won't believe it.
He's barely a quarterback in the NCAA.
All right, here we go. Again, Brigade, Oregon State. They got Oregon State a road victory over Oregon on this. Everyone else, Keon, Kobe, myself, and Juan, all have Oregon.
Yeah,
this game won't be close.
It'll
be close.
It'll be a beatdown.
Speaking about beatdowns,
what do they call this game these days? Not to be
Civil War, ain't it? No, that's
I'm pretty sure they don't call it that anymore.
Used to be.
Yeah.
That's what it used to be. I didn't know if they had updated. I know they had kind of turned away from calling it the Civil War for a while.
I'm still calling it Civil War. I don't give a shit. It ain't hurt my feelings about it. That's what I know it is. It's what it is.
Ducks and Bucks. I don't know.
Oh man! All right, here we go. Good old Iron Bowl, boys. Good old Iron Bowl. Bama, Auburn. This is gonna be fun.
You know what makes it so much more fun is the fact that Auburn lost by 21 to New Mexico State last week, and for some reason, I feel like that should make you more scared as an Alabama fan.
It makes you think that they actually took and planned for you rather than New Mexico State and just sacrificed it all.
100%. I mean, it just feels like they have been for the past 21 days just lasered in on Alabama. Could care less what happened. Lost to New Mexico State, who cares? My man Hugh knows you can make a living beating the fellas in Tuscaloosa and being the head coach at Auburn.
Didn't he do it when he was at Ole Miss too?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got a taste of it at least, man. But no, we talk about that, man. And it's at Jordan Hare too, so keep that in mind.
But it's at 3:30, not.
Yeah, it's not a night game, which the Voodoo does come out at night. Anyways, picks are in, and as expected, everyone chooses Alabama, thinking Alabama quite literally rolls and gets ready to go to Atlanta. I think that's fair to say. Thoughts on that, guys? Yeah, everybody.
I hope it's a 4-quarter game.
Oh, I'd love it too. All right, this one's going to be fun to talk about, boys. The game, Ohio State.
Let's
Michigan.
do it.
Ohio State and Michigan. Boy, the storylines are going to be writing themselves all week. Slow down, babe. Oh, get out of here, Stallions. Get out. They got the binoculars in full effect. Oh, my word. No, in all seriousness, how do y'all feel about this game? I want to take a second to talk about this game.
Yeah, no, let's park here.
Go ahead. Listen. The game's in Michigan, right? It's in Ann Arbor. But the past few weeks, Michigan has not scared me at all. They have not shown me to be a top 4 team whatsoever. But Kyle McCord just isn't the answer at Ohio State. Something's got to give. something's got to give. It just has to. Does the winner of the game jump Georgia in the college football playoffs? That's good. There's a huge playoff implications here as well. I think it depends on who wins, because if Ohio State wins convincingly, then there's a possibility.
I think
I think
that's the bigger question. Is it convincingly for either team, or is it close?
I'm just letting you know right now, if Michigan wins, it won't matter to the eyes of the public because we know that they've been cheating for 3 years. But if they lose, everybody fucking points and laughs. And we're like, you couldn't do it. And the only reason why you beat Ohio State is because you cheated to do it. Michigan is in a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And they did it to themselves. And you just got to fucking deal with that.
I feel like I have my reasons, kind of like Florida State, for wanting either team to win. I kind of want another piece of Ohio State after the way they made my blood pressure feel on New Year's Day last year.
And how they handled the whole offseason, still to this day bitch about that.
And then I also want a piece of Big Blue with their beat Georgia period that they added this year, and a Joe Moore award or two that should have been in red and black. I still am a little salty about a couple of those.
Man. You know what? I am too, and I definitely agree with you there. This is going to be interesting, guys. I can't wait. Let's see who we got. Who did y'all pick? Let's see it.
The picks are in.
I feel like we all kind of rolled together. No, we didn't. Oh, my God.
Kobe and Juan rolling together with Michigan. The team up north. Brigade, Keon, and myself rolling with Ohio State. Let's do this.
Michigan.
Let's do this. Kobe, I'll let you answer why you picked Michigan, and then we'll answer why we picked Ohio State. This I think, listen, while it feels like it's been going on a little bit longer, it needs discussion.
Yeah. I think right off the bat, home field, it's going to be loaded to the gills with Michigan fans. I think it's one of those things that watching how Ohio State played Penn State and watching how Michigan played Penn State, I would say that Michigan is going to try to establish the run early and often. And then I really think that Michigan is going to get to Kyle McCord at a better rate than even Penn State did. And I think we all know that really between all four phases of both teams' games, I would say Kyle McCord may be the weakest link. Like if you looked at the Ohio State offense, the Ohio State defense, the Michigan offense, the Michigan defense, and had to pick a player that if I thought you could rattle, that the game would swing one way or another, I think Kyle McCord is that guy.
I'm gonna do a stark contrast and say after what I saw against Penn State and Maryland, fucking JJ McCarthy's a liability too.
What the fuck? 60 damn yards?
Didn't even throw it past it. Didn't even throw it.
Are you serious?
Half of Penn State.
Bro,
didn't even throw it in the half.
Hold on. People were legit Michigan fans. Y'all were legit telling me that this was a Heisman candidate, and this motherfucker couldn't even throw for 100 yards?
Hold on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, hold on. Let me interject. The timing of this is funny because he started playing like complete bag of smashed ass only when the Stallions news broke. Think about that.
You play like a 2-pack of ass and throw for 60 yards?
Oh, so you're joining the Big Blue crew too with Sam Bett too, Kobe? Okay. Say less. Say less.
That's so funny. I even got Tom Brady to say Bett.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. How corny is that?
Man, that's 7 Super Bowls. What is he so mad
Listen,
about?
I'll tell you right now.
Like relax,
No.
brother. They are cheating.
Hear me out too.
Wait a second, brother. They didn't even like you.
I'll tell you this.
Let's talk about it. What?
While Michigan has, I forgot his name. It's drawn a blank. They got a cornerback that's a legit fucking cornerback. But you got to go up against Harrison.
Bro, they have a wide receiver named Cornelius. They're not serious. Give me Ohio State.
I'll tell you this, though. Travion Henderson could be the X factor for this game. He could be. I do think that you need to spread the ball to Egbuka, right? Emeka Egbuka, and you need to deal with Harrison, obviously. I just think Travion Henderson, because you're down a running back anyway, but Travion Henderson could be the X factor in this game. I think it's a close game, whoever wins, though. But I picked Ohio State for two reasons. One, their defense has gotten substantially better than the years past.
Correct.
It's legit defense, and I feel like it's a legit defense to this point in time. And
well, it's finally caught up. I mean, they signed that class.
Yeah, JTT, Jack Sawyer, all those
21.
guys are a year older now. They're playing like it too.
That 21 class was disgusting on defense.
Especially the line. But their linebackers are playing better. And that's the key too. But one, their defense. Two, I just want Michigan to go down and realize that their team is trash. They're cheaters, and they got to deal with that. And I can't wait for the punishment to come down after their season's over, because they won't play in the Big Ten championship, so the ruling will come out sooner, and I'm okay with that.
60 yards. That's all I got to say.
Could be if Michigan loses, could be the last time. Obviously, Harbaugh won't be there.
I think Harbaugh leaves even if they win.
But what I'm saying is, if they lose, then there won't be a Big Ten championship game, so Harbaugh won't coach. And if they don't make the playoffs, will Harbaugh coach?
I see what you're saying. So they
could never see Harbaugh on the sideline for Michigan ever again.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I was going with.
Either way, fuck Michigan.
Either way, there's going to be some fantastic football in the last week of the season.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, I want Michigan to lose just so that you put more deserving teams in.
I'm excited because you better enjoy it. I've said this all year, and this week is finally, I feel like it's manifesting. Enjoy it while you can, because this time next year it literally will not matter.
Yeah, no,
like this game, the game. Like if they were 2-3, it would,
because they'll play. Because ultimately, what would happen is they'd play in the Big Ten championship next week afterwards, anyway. So yeah, you're right. Think about that. And that is the last time that you'll see this in a meaningful, like a legitimately meaningful, like this meaningful.
This week loses a lot of meaning, and I think this week changes a lot, because I think Ohio State and Michigan's ADs are not going to agree to play each other on the last week of the season.
Knowing that there's a good possibility. Knowing that there's
and knowing the way the new Big Ten is going to work. I mean, you're going to have USC, you're going to have UCLA, Oregon, Washington. You're not going to agree to play Ohio State on the last week of the season, knowing that there's a good chance that you could have to play again in a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to try to kind of
space it out,
spread that out a little bit,
space it out. Yeah. All right, so we'll pull it back up just to make sure, because we have had a nice little discussion about this game. For the record, again, no changes here. Brigade, Keon, myself going to Ohio State, Kobe and Juan rolling Big Blue. And we move on to our game, the most meaningful game of all, clean old-fashioned hate. Georgia Tech, Bobby Dodd, Mark Richt Field, 7:30 p.m. night game, ABC. I'm going to do this because I have to, but I think we all know it's them dogs as hell. Now, the question here is this. We've discussed this preview. We're not going to talk much about it. Let's give score predictions, folks.
A lot to a little. I'm looking at 38-10.
38-10. I got belt to ass. Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take
switch to mouth.
Oh God.
48-17.
48-17, 38-10. I've got 42-10. 42-10. Kind of take a little bit of both here.
So no field goals, 42. I always no. 42's 30.
Keep in mind. No there might have been, I don't know if we talked about this, but there was a stat that was really intriguing to me against Tennessee. 5 red zone trips, 5 touchdowns.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I like that efficiency there. Even if it might have been that one game specifically, I do like the fact that there's that chance.
Yeah, I'll say
disgusting.
Yeah, I'll say 42-10. Yeah.
I wish we could have scored one more time, because it would have upped his points per game average again.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You're
It
right.
was like we're floating right there at 38. If we would have scored one more time, it'd have been at like 45.
Yeah. Then you're looking at what on average, like just like 41, almost 41, 42 points per game.
Probably 40, close to 42 points per game.
Hey, but Bobo haters, man, where are they at though? Don't know. Not here though.
The red zone efficiency haters, where that was the biggest thing early in the year. And I will give him credit. I mean, they've done a really good job fixing that, because we can't sit here and say that wasn't a problem. It was.
Yeah.
Completely was. We talked about that several times. All right, guys, let's move to our locks of the week. Locks of the week. Keon is rolling. Keon is doubling down his lock of the week. He's got Ohio State with the upset, technically, over Michigan.
OH!
Yeah, don't do that. Kobe.
Yo, the Iowa lock.
This might be a baseball game, but
this could be the best. Nebraska has a chance to do the funniest thing I've ever seen, and Juan doesn't even know it.
That's funny. Keon's got Ohio State over Michigan. Kobe, you've got the Vols over Vanderbilt. I feel like that might be an arguable safe pick there, like extremely safe pick. But they've been getting it.
I mean, you got Notre Dame or Stanford. They're like 38-point favorites.
Well, the problem is Stanford has also beat Notre Dame last year.
Hey.
What does that mean? They're favorited.
No, I'm just saying it's not as much of a lock as you think, because Notre Dame was a big favorite last year and they lost to Stanford last year. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
He's saying he has a better chance to lose than I do.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you may be right there, but
so, and then Juan, I think Juan, listen, he's not here to defend himself, so I'm not going to bash it. But my man
Juan's rolling with the defense of the century.
Oh God,
my God, because we know it ain't the offense of the century by any means.
9-0, Juan wins.
9-3 baseball score. On to game 2. Oh my God, upsets of the week. Keon triples down, folks. Triples down. Also claiming Ohio State upsets it. So he's got a lock and an upset set for Ohio State. My man is all in on saying fuck Michigan. And I'm okay with that. Kobe, you've got NC State. You're fading your North Carolina pick. Going NC State over North Carolina at home. Juan has Stanford. My man has rode the upset with Stanford every week, and I can't be more happy for him for that. That's dedication. Hope Ash has a really good game, by the way. I really do. I mean, listen, if they
let you hope he loses. It's okay.
Listen, I've never wanted someone to do so well but lose just by like 1 point. I mean, listen, hope Ash balls the fuck out. I hope he balls the fuck out.
Rutgers.
I got Rutgers over Maryland. I think that's an interesting pick. Super close game. Maryland. Listen, I don't know if Maryland just looked better than I thought, but or did just Michigan just play like a bag of smashed ass again? But I've got Rutgers over Maryland in this one. Guys, those are our picks of the week. Our picks of the week are in. No changes from Keon. I'm fucking impressed.
You're welcome.
My man took a long time and thought about it this week.
For what it's not really.
No.
Not really. Not really.
No, not really.
I mean, if anything,
was one pick that I could change that I'm not going to,
probably the Florida.
100%, the only one.
I talked him clean into changing that.
I went. You know what though? That before, so there were some discussions internally for me.
Is that a nooner? I'm looking.
I think it's 7:00.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That could be dangerous.
Night game in the swamp.
That would be.
But no, I think that game's going to have some interesting playoff implications, because if Florida State loses, that pushes Oregon up into the 5, right? Because you got Texas versus Texas Tech. I think Texas wins that game. Keon, you're in Texas. What are your feeling on that?
7:00 kicker. Y'all all right? That'll be a good one.
I was at the last game that Texas Tech actually stunned Texas in Jones Stadium back in I believe 04, 05. One of them.
Don't sleep on that game either, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
Texas has not looked good.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Don't tell their fans that.
I won't. I don't know any Texas fans, luckily.
You're blessed.
Your affinity with Texas fans is mine with Florida State fans, just because I'm so close, and it's just like I just don't like any. I just don't like any of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be interesting, Matt. Listen, regardless what you think, all these rivalry games, man, mean a ton, right? We didn't even hit the Missouri-Arkansas. I think even though Sam Pittman, does he get that redemption win over Eli? Does he fuck it up? No, he don't.
No.
Here you go. I'll read through a couple we didn't pick. TCU plays Oklahoma on Friday at noon.
TCU is losing.
Austin College plays Miami at noon on Friday as well. They're both 6-5.
Boston College for the win.
Let's see. You just said Arkansas, Missouri.
Missouri to beat the shit out of them and cover the spread, no matter what it is.
Let's see. Duke plays Pitt.
Duke should win, but they're Duke.
Yeah.
Is Riley Leonard playing? I think that's the question there, but we'll see.
Let's keep going here. Utah plays the Fighting Deion Sanders.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Rudy, hold on. Now, you know who's going to be the MVP of that game? Do you? Mr. Rudy Rising. Coming off the bench, baby. Coming off an injury, dude.
Talk about a game with two new head coaches that their seasons have gone completely different. Arizona State. Arizona wins. They go 9-3 on the year.
That's nuts. That's
hibernating.
Nuts.
See who they've lost to. They lost to Washington by a touchdown. They lost to USC in triple overtime. They lost to Mississippi State in overtime. Wow.
So literally couple plays away from being one-loss team. Holy shit. Okay. All those games are close too.
Well, yeah. USC scored the 2-point conversion to win in triple overtime. Mississippi State scored in overtime, just didn't let them score.
Fair
Can
point.
we be honest and say that a lot of these slates for this week, I think a lot of them are dog shit. You have a handful that are going to be good, but I'm not watching Oregon beat the shit out of Oregon State. I'm not going to watch that.
Until the one-off instance that fucking Oregon State wins on the road or something.
I'll catch a highlight. I'm not watching. I'm not dedicating any more of my time in my life to watching DJU play football.
There are a couple games throughout the week I think that are always interesting. That teams that are 5-6. You have one last chance. Can you get your team to play well? California plays UCLA. UCLA just beat the dog out of USC, but Cal's 5-6, and they also played USC super close. Can Cal squeak it by? Stuff like that.
No, that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually.
Wait, so you said UCLA plays Cal?
Yeah. Cal's 5-6.
Yo, so if Cal wins, would UCLA be the worst team in California?
No.
They beat USC, so probably not.
I didn't know that. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. And
see if anybody else is right on. Florida obviously is playing for
bowl eligibility.
And to keep their recruiting class.
New Mexico State. Isn't that who just beat Auburn? New Mexico State?
Yes, it is.
If they win, because they played Hawaii, they'll be 10-3.
Oh,
Jesus!
Wow. Okay.
Washington State's playing to be 6-6 if they can beat Washington.
Not gonna. I'd love for it to happen. I don't see it happening though. They ain't got the defense to run with it.
No, I think Wazoo can get it done.
My man out there in Minnesota rowing the boats. Talk about a fall
PJ
from
Fleck.
Boy, should he have taken
Iowa. Shit, same as Matt Campbell at Iowa State, right?
I'm just saying he should have taken the job while he was hot. I mean, because he was.
Oh, by the way, remember, guys, within 2 weeks, The transfer portal is about to go absolutely fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I'm not overly
think-
excited about that.
Oh, I am.
I am, but I'm not. I hate that it does it like in the middle of like playoff bowl time.
Well, they extended it out, right? So they extended it out to make sure that teams playing in conference championships had a chance to do whatever they needed to do as well. Because it was before that too, you know what I mean? So,
So wait a
Yeah.
second. If you got a player, that player would be able to play. Like,
I think, I mean,
so portal doesn't open until after conference championship games,
correct. The Monday
And
after the championship,
but then like after, like Bill Norton
between
last
bowl
year
games,
put
yeah,
his
between bowl
name.
games.
Bill Norton put his name in like that Monday after we won the SEC, and he was gone before I think we played Ohio State.
Yeah, but you got certain guys that will stay there and play, or like I don't think they can. I don't know what their exact rules are. I have to look into that, but
You can dip your toes in and still be. Kirby ain't
On the
gonna let you
team.
practice. Well, Kirby ain't gonna let you practice if you're dipping your toes in.
yeah, I got you. Guys, I think that's good for the night, man. I had a lot of talk about that. Again, so Project Pat says happy Thanksgiving to my dogs. Absolutely. Hope everybody has a safe travels if you're traveling somewhere. Hopefully your food's delicious. If you're a Georgia Tech fan, I'm sorry, but I hope you burn your turkey.
I hope you get to the table right as you sit down and drop your plate. If you're a Georgia Tech fan,
You know what though? Like I don't listen. So I want you to overcook the turkey to the point where it's a Clark Griswold situation where you cut it and just air just goes out of that thing. You know what I mean?
I hope you drop your last pie. That's your favorite, like that last slice.
It's so cold. That's so cold, but I love it. I guarantee you, you'll get all of the cranberry sauce,
Yeah,
all of it.
yeah.
No mac and cheese for you. Oh, yeah. But other than that, though, hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
100%.
Sir, y'all boys enjoy.
Hey, listen,
Alrighty.
remember, guys. This Monday night, 7 p.m. 7, not 10, 7. Marcus Earthman Jack Saint. We'll be talking
100%.
SEC championship game, talk some other stuff, maybe. See how that goes. But other than that, dude, gentlemen, y'all have
Does
a
that
great
have
Thanksgiving.
for the people at home, does that have a time limit? Like, will we be on,
I think
and-
we'll try to stay close. I think we'll probably try to go close to an hour. Yeah, I think we're going to try to be on a strict hour limit.
no more of these 2-hour ones. We may have to start easing these 2-hour ones down a little bit.
I didn't even realize it, but you're right.
Hour 55.
Anyways, let's get out of here, guys. Have
That's
a happy
how-
Thanksgiving.
That's how long I think I've been on. I don't even count y'all, I think.
Yeah, we're fine. Other than that, though,
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Listen, hold on. Don't get into a fight on Black Friday. Please don't do that.
And if you do, chin check, right? 357, right?
Yo, listen.
Philly
and
shell?
it's all changed enough. Don't go out fighting nobody on Black Friday. Just get on your computer and buy some stuff.
But if you do, 357. That's it.
Philly shell too, by the way. Philly shell.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Y'all
Yeah.
everybody have a great night. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Go Dogs. We will see y'all back Monday.
Go Dogs. Dogs on top.